Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. What's good, Danny? How have you been? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bro. I'm only saying it to you on January 12th because I haven't seen you in person, but Happy New Year. I'm doing great, bro. I recovered from COVID. We'll get into that in a second. Enjoying life, no complaints. It was my best friend's, one of my good friends' wedding over the weekend. It was the best man at that. So that was fun, nerve-wracking, everything. But definitely got me excited for your wedding, bro, because again, like I just know what the music should be at your wedding, what the vibe should be. I already know the majority of the groom's party. So yeah, dude, I'm super excited for your wedding. Like really. That's why I was texting like, yo, so what's the outfit I gotta wear? Cause I was like already like, yo, that's just only like a month and a half away. So yeah man, I'm doing well, brother. How are you feeling? Nice. And how are you recovering? Because I know you said you got sick with the Rona too.
Yeah, everything's been good. Obviously, we've been chatting offline, but nothing too new for me. I'm fasting from alcohol, caffeine, and hookah this whole month.
Nice.
To get back in workout mode. I haven't worked out since Colombia until this week.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it happens to me every year. Around like Thanksgiving, I get super lazy. So that's mostly why, but I feel good kind of resetting myself, also abstaining from Instagram. I've had to hop on here and there, obviously, to like help promote the podcast, and then a couple music related things. But my personal, I'm like, no more thoughts, no more academics, like nothing.
Yo, dude, I've been so close to like screenshotting shit to you, and I'm like, nah. Because like that's the shit I remember, like when I like broke up with an ex, and like people would send me screenshots of her page. I'm like, you know, I blocked her for a reason, right? Like I'm not trying to see.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, let me not do this to this dude because I'd be fucked up right now.
Save it though for when I'm back on.
Oh, bro, it's trust me, I got you, dog. Like it's gonna be like, I'm like airdrop this bitch because like it's a lot.
Yeah. So that's been good, just kind of clearing my mind for a week or so. And then I caught COVID.
Nah, dog, like, of course, dog, because everyone I've spoken to is like, obviously you got that shit.
Yeah. I figured, I'm like, damn, I'm vaccinated. I had this shit. I have super immunity, but I caught it, woke up with a sore throat. I was telling my friend, I felt like a toothless hooker that was working overtime. My throat was fucked. I couldn't do shit. I couldn't record. Couldn't do anything.
Yeah, damn.
I had and we can get into it later, but I have a song that I'm working with another rapper, and I literally couldn't record. Like my voice was just dead. So I was out for a solid week, finally recovered. I wasn't scared. It was more so like, fuck, when does this end? Because COVID, for those who haven't had it, at least for me, it's like a cold, but it like lasts like 7-8 days instead of 3 or 4. So that's what was fucked up about it. But I feel really good right now, obviously.
Yeah, dude. So for me, similar symptoms. I didn't have headaches. I didn't have body aches. Mine was just the fucking, I had cold sweats, or night sweats, I guess the better phrase. And then, the sore throat, bro. The sore throat was legit. Like if I was just taking shots of shard glass, like, bro, every time I swallowed, pause was just like, bro, like I didn't want to drink anything, dog. Like I had an appetite, but I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to eat because fam, this shit is painful.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but baby, drink water. I'm like, but I gotta swallow that, bro. Like, I don't want to swallow nothing right now.
I know.
So like, that was the moment I was like, yo, when is this gonna end? And luckily, bro, that only lasted 4 days. And by the grace of God, bro, like on New Year's Eve, like me and my girl still had a fire New Year's Eve at the house. Had some, had a triples involved. Dude, but I drugged the fuck out of my body, bro. Like legally, illegally, like everything, bro. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna feel good tonight. Like I'm like, fuck that, dog. So it really only lasted 3 days, and and then somehow like my girl was with me the entire time. She must be asymptomatic, bro, because she had nothing. And I'm like, that's crazy how this shit just affects people in different ways.
100%. Yeah, even my wife, she was like, when I had my sore throat, she was trying to like suggested making tacos and fried cutlets and shit. I'm like, if it's not noodles, I literally can't fucking swallow it. I barely can even drink this water, like you said.
Yeah, dude. Like I was like, yo, I had so like the tea I sent you, dude. I was drinking tea, like, bro, like 4 to 5 glasses a day, just anything I can do, bro. And what sucks, like the morning is the worst. So you wake up thinking like, yo, this is gonna be the worst day of my life. Like if this is how it starts, like,
yeah, it gets better throughout the day, but like every morning you're like, oh my God.
You're like, yeah, it's still, you're like, it's still there. You're like, it's still here. Like, I'm like, yo, I want to just fucking, cause I was tight. Cause like, bro, I took the entire week of like leading up to New Year's off. So I'm like, dog, like I could, like, I should just be at work. Like, I want to fucking enjoy this time. So that's why I was like, bro, like, we're going out, like, we're doing shit. Like, we're going for a New Year's brunch. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, cause damn, bro, like, I was like, this ain't it. But it is what it is, bro. Luckily, we're both healthy. Did you have like a bunch of people in the family also get it too? Because I had like, oh, dude, my entire family on my mom's like got that shit.
So my family went on a snowboarding trip to Mammoth. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that is, but it's like Northern California.
Okay.
I think it's Northern California. They rented a big ass cabin with like 20 people. I wasn't there because I was back in the Bay, but a few people in that group, of course, got it. Not surprised at all. But fortunately, they're relatively healthy and fine, so no scares from that. But it definitely was the first variant where I'm like, damn, everyone I know at least knows someone who had it. Whereas when COVID first started, I didn't know a single person that fucking had it, not even a friend of a friend.
Right. And what's wild is when COVID first arrived, we were like, oh, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like you're gonna die. And then now it's just like, bro, all right, I got it, bro. Like, when can I go back outside? You know what I mean? Like, so I really think, bro, like, just with like the flights being canceled, like, which was crazy. You know, I went to New York, they had to get back real quick. I really think, bro, a lot of people are like, yo, this shit is light, fam. Like light. Like I can catch this and be at the gym in 2 days if I wanted to. Like I remember I caught it on Tuesday officially, and then dude, I ran 3 miles on Wednesday like nothing. You know what I mean? Like so like I'm good, you know. So again, and I'm not trying to be like, you know, paint a wide brush. Again, if you have health underlying issues, like maybe you won't be good. But for the majority of the human race who is relatively in shape, doesn't have other underlying things, I feel like if you catch this, you're gonna be fine, bro. So it's really, I hope at some point, especially going into like, you know, your wedding, you know, that they really do change these fucking like guidelines, because I feel like they're just not, the guidelines are already outdated, bro. Like, again, this thing keeps evolving. Like, we shouldn't be following the same rules we had a year and a half ago for a thing that really isn't that serious. Or so it seems at least.
Right. Yeah, that's the tricky thing. It's like there's new rules every day. Now, when you fly, you have to get the results like no later than 24 hours before.
Is that what it was?
Super annoying. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work with the wedding, but we'll figure it out. But
sure.
That's the new rule, and who knows what will change. The only rule I want to remain is I can work from home and do shit like this like forever.
What's the update with that? They pretty much said
indefinitely, because they're like, yo, there's a new variant every fucking 3 days. Like, what's the point of going in? And at this rate, I don't see us going in this whole year if there's going to be a new variant. There's like Deltacron or some shit now. It's like Pokemon. There's a new one.
Oh, but they said that was mixed up with the lab. That's not actually a thing.
It was? Oh, okay. That sounded kind of tight though.
Yeah, yo, but I don't know if you saw the picture of it. The picture of it looked just like the Dirty Sprite 2 album cover. Yeah, that was, they were doing the side by side. But yeah, dude. So we'll see, man. But I'm definitely grateful that you're able to work from home, because that's a legit setup. But yeah, it's tough for us too. So my job, like, they're not imposing shit. We still go in twice a week just to like see each other, and like, you know, the synergy that you get from like working with each other. I mean, it's only a 20-minute drive for me, so it's not that big a deal. But dude, we really can't enforce it, dog. Like, it will benefit people like in our industry, like in sales and stuff like that, to be together to like, you know, make deals happen. But, you know, we're like, yo, come in, we'll buy everybody lunch, blah, blah, blah. They're like, bro, I'm good. Like, I'll make my own fucking lunch, bro. I'm not dealing with y'all. So It's tough. But again, we'll figure this shit out. But again, knock on wood, everyone that we know is healthy. So just keep it moving, keep it grooving. Back to it though, this year, episode 95. So almost approaching that 100th episode, I guess next month. So that's exciting. This episode's called New Year, New Variant. Already caught up with what happened with the health things. So what is the latest update though on the Blair Anthony movement as far as music is concerned? Like, what do you have lined up? Any drops that we should be looking out for?
So I do have 3 songs that are going to be released within the next couple months. 2 are 100% like basically finalized.
Nice.
Just putting the artwork and scheduling, and then 1 is with a rapper who I reached out to. I don't know if you're familiar with Rocky Fresh. He's from Chicago. I don't know if he's still on MMG, but I basically reached out to him for a feature because he was offering. And me and him have a collaboration. Part of my goals was to like have a song with someone else, who at least has a fan base. And he's one of my favorite rappers, so I just reached out to him, and unfortunately, he's recording it tonight. So I'll see how that goes. Just need to mix and master it on my end, and then schedule a date sometime in the future. But the nearest one, or the nearest release, is a song called Cupid's Curse. This one I'm trying something a little different. Similar to Highs and Lows, it kind of has more of like a R&B-ish poppy flow instead of like rapping. And then I'm gonna try to like do my best to have it gain some virality on TikTok. So I did this thing where I accumulated like a bunch of snippets from various popular cartoons and like aligned the lyrics with scenes and shit. So I know.
Dude, how long does that take, bro?
That actually didn't take me that long. I went on YouTube and I was like, so the song is like a lovey-dovey song. So for instance, one of them is like from fucking, I thought of like Lola Bunny, like who doesn't like her, or thinks she's hot. So I just literally like looked at Space Jam clips of like Bugs Bunny like falling for her and hearts coming out of his eyes and shit like that. And then I just typed in like Lola Bunny Valentine's Day and just like kind of what we do with the podcast, just chopped it up. And tried to like align it with like, you know, a 15-second snippet of some lyrics. And then I just threw the text on it. And I did that when I had COVID, like, because I had nothing else to do. Last Saturday, I probably spent like 3 or 4 hours doing it. Surprisingly, didn't take as long as I thought, mainly because these are only like 10-second snippets. So I didn't have to go through like 20 episodes to like find good shit, but I like the final result. I can send you a couple snippets if you want.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And there was also another one that I saw that was like a TikTok that you did that was like, what if I hopped on this song? That was pretty cool too.
Yeah, thanks. I forget if we mentioned on one of the previous episodes, but this guy, Austin George, he's a TikToker, but he makes his own music, and that's how he like got his following, I believe. And he started getting a fan base by doing the If I Was On. So he would just like take a popular song, do like a 10-second snippet of his own lyrics, and then a bunch of people would be like, oh shit, like you're dope. Like, can you make some original songs too? And so I was like, oh, let me just do that a couple times and see what happens. And I actually did that with one of the Weeknd songs from his recent album, which I really liked. I was like, oh shit, I need to do like a quick little verse and see if it goes anywhere.
Nice, dude. That's exciting. Have you gotten any feedback, or like how have the comments been on the Sinister freestyle you did?
Yeah, that's been good. I haven't, since I released it, I haven't got a ton. Every now and then somebody will like hop in and be like, oh shit, like I love this, like this is dope, and like subscribe. I don't know if not enough people are necessarily searching for the song because it's not like a super viral song or anything.
Yeah. It's like a hip hop head, you know that song. Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping the Weeknd one will get a little more traction. So I'm probably gonna actually record that tonight and then release it this week sometime.
Nice.
But I definitely want to have, obviously I have exposure via the podcast, but I want people to see my face a little bit more with the music.
Yeah.
Since I don't really, at least at this point, like want to invest too much into music videos and stuff. I'd rather just do these quick snippets of like, oh, here's me rapping and then here's the music.
Yeah, and the quality was fire, dude. Like especially the Sinister visuals were dope. Like the red drop, like the red background, and the just like you looked at that shit was like a dope setup. So I like that.
Appreciate it.
Nice, dude. All right, so 3 drops to look forward to. For the collab, but just a question, like it's something I would ask anyone we were interviewing. Yeah. Is that something like you already give him the idea or like your verse and just say, hey, like just kind of keep it to topic, or do you not even say anything?
No, I gave him the concept. I already recorded my part and like left the space for him. So he'll already know like the hook, the concept,
perfect, okay,
and everything, and then he just records his part, and then he sends it back to me, and then I have to deal with getting it like mixed and mastered and promotion, all that stuff. He won't like actively promote it on his page and everything too much. Like I would have to pay him to go to that extent, but as far as just getting his like name in my catalog, and I think even Spotify people who follow him will see it like in the new releases and stuff. So
that's dope.
Kind of a win-win situation in a way.
Nice, dude. And he's from Chicago?
Yeah, he's from Chicago. He has songs with like Nipsey, I think even Meek, and a bunch of other people. Obviously, because he was on MMG, he might still be there, but he's definitely a good artist. So I would definitely check him out if you guys haven't heard of him. Rocky Fresh.
Rocky Fresh. Nice, dude. All right, bro. I'm excited for you guys, and obviously I'm definitely excited for you to hear you on the track with somebody else. But speaking of new music coming out, you mentioned the Weeknd. So over the holidays, like what was something, or since our last episode, because we haven't really recorded a full episode since almost like beginning of December. What's been some music over the last like 4 weeks that you've really been bumping hard and enjoying?
Yeah. Honestly, I was kind of on a high from the Johan Lennox interview. So I showed Corey, my brother, You Up. He literally on Christmas Eve, I want to say, he played that song fucking, I'm not even joking, probably like 25 times in a row. That's
you
how
were
much
still in LA, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
He played that song the whole night. So it was dope to see like us have like a real conversation with someone and then see someone be that excited about the person who they never met. So that was cool. But I guess the only person since break, like outside of the new releases the past few days, was, I don't know if you're familiar with the artist called Beam. I think he's a Jamaican American artist from Miami. He might actually be straight up Jamaican and like migrated.
Bro, he was on the Justin Bieber album, I think.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, dude. He's connected to Project X and like Silent Addy and them. Like he's a part of that. Yeah. I'm familiar. I think he's actually also on the new WizKid project.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who I believe like kind of was more behind the scenes writing for a bunch of people, and then obviously makes his way to features. And now I've been hearing a lot of his like own songs, and then I was just checking through like his catalog. I'm like, oh shit, like he's actually super dope.
Nice. Okay. So because I've only heard features of him, and the features were fucking fire.
Yeah, I'll send you a couple of tracks, but he's definitely someone to look out for. Nice.
So that was like the big one for you over since the break.
Yep. Beam.
Nice, dude. For me, so the three projects that really stood out to me, I really enjoyed the Roddy Ricch project. That had like a bunch of bangers for me. Probably my heat of the week is also gonna come from that. It was just cool, man. I love how it started off with like the tribute to Kanye, like a play on some of his old work and like making it into his own. The Gunna Drip Season 4, I really enjoyed that. Great workout. I mean, again, I feel like we both come accustomed to like really enjoying Gunna's work, and I think this one is special. But bro, I don't know if you've been like on Twitter or something besides Instagram. I know, but like, do you know what like something being or not being P means?
No, but I know the push. Is this the push and P thing?
Yeah, but it's now like an adjective for like everything now. Like Young Thug got kicked off a plane, and now people are saying the pilot isn't being P. And I'm just like, I don't know what is happening, bro.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I'm just like, bro, like I don't want to be the old guy because I'm like Gunna's like our age, but like, am I just not getting it? Like, I'm like, what does this mean, dude? So
yeah,
apparently that went over my head, but yeah, like. That album's fire. And then, dude, I really enjoyed. So I listened to the Weeknd's album, the Dawn FM, for the first time last night, and it was enjoyable for a multitude of reasons. Again, he's probably one of the greatest voices we've had in the last like 10 years, but also like just like a very interesting concept. Like the whole thing, like it almost envisions like you're like in this like maybe like you're driving, you kind of like doze off. But then, like the radio's playing in the background, and it kind of seeps into your like subconscious in your dream. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that was
That's
like
a great
some
way
like
to describe
some like trippy shit. So like I can't wait for the visuals. I haven't seen any videos yet, but yeah, like I mean, thus far I really enjoyed it. And I'm gonna give it like more of a deep dive because I really couldn't get into like the lyrics per se, but I mean, it seems to be doing pretty well from a number standpoint. It's just wild though, bro. I know you haven't seen it, but dude, I think his first week was 130K, like which again is respectable in any domain. But then like you just compare that to Drake and what Kanye did, you're like, oh, terrible week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I saw people clowning
week.
him about the sales. Like I didn't even watch the videos, but I was on YouTube scrolling and I saw a video like Weeknd responds to low sales and shit. And I'm thinking he sold 40K or something based on the headline, but it doesn't sound like that.
Nah, dude, yo, Roddy Ricch would give everything to follow up his anti-social thing with 130K. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I
don't know, bro. Like he also dropped it during the holidays. You know, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that shit. So yeah, I think it was a solid project.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it too. Maybe even
what was the song that you were thinking about hopping on for the TikTok thing?
Oh, that one is There Someone Else?
Okay.
I just fell in love with that like chipmunky high frequency voice or whatever that you hear in the beginning.
Oh, is that like the first? Is that the first, like the second song?
No, I think it might be like the 6th or something. If I'm not mistaken, I could be completely
No, because on the song Gasoline, he has that like 80s, 90s like pop artist like vocals, like he doesn't sound like himself, which is dope.
Oh like, not that one.
Okay, I was like, yeah, that'd be a wild freestyle, bro.
Yeah, like, no, definitely not that one. Is There Someone Else? And once you hear it, you'll remember it. But there's a part towards the end where it's just the beat, that like chipmunky sample he has in there, and then him in the background with a couple oohs and ahs.
Okay.
And like I was just like, I can easily rap over it because there's no other vocals. So I just had a little concept in my mind. It was one of those things where I'm like, if I can't do this quickly, then I'm not going to waste my time because it's not even my own song.
Yeah.
But then I fortunately just like came to me quickly, and I just got it out of the way. So I'm going to throw that on TikTok and Instagram as well. But that's the song.
Okay, sick. Yeah, but the whole project is dope. Yeah, I love the interludes with the radio announcer and shit. Like, yeah, that shit is well done. And again, apparently it's like a trilogy. So apparently there's like another album that's going to be coming out to go, with Blinding Lights and all this. So that's pretty dope.
Nice. Yeah, it was not the first, but recently one of the Weeknd projects that I like really fucked with. It put me in a really good mood. I don't know if it's like the nostalgia of it like sounding like a Michael Jackson record or what, but it was a breath fresh. Am I even saying this shit right? A breath of fresh air. Yeah. Especially because last year, God knows, we didn't have any good music for a long ass time, and the fact that we got
that's a great point, bro. I like that they came out. These motherfuckers came out swinging, bro. The Gunna, Roddy Ricch right before the new year started. We have Cordae dropping when you guys hear this on Friday. So like this is I'm excited, bro. This is the pace we're gonna be going at, like at least like 1 or 2 fire drops every week or so. Like, dude, it's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, I think the Weeknd, at least for me, perfectly executed that like spacey, hypnotic vibe that for some reason a lot of people aren't fucking with, but I appreciated it and thought I think he did a really good job at making it sound like something he should be doing.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. I feel like we get mad if they do and then mad if they don't. Like we get mad at Drake when all he does is like Drake songs. We're like, dude, where's the fucking creativity? Do something different. And the Weeknd's like, all right, I'm gonna do something different. They're like, nah, we want the old shit. Like it's like, bro, like what are we?
For real.
So it's like, again, I get it, but it's one thing to do something different. I do think it's very cohesive what he was doing. It wasn't like a one-off song that sounds so fucking left field and then the rest is like your normal Weeknd. Again, great quality of work, but just your normal, I miss a girl, she hurt my heart, all this bullshit, right? I feel like this was a very cohesive with the interludes. Bro, I don't know if it's like I was a 90s baby, but like a good interlude every now and then on a project just makes you feel like you're watching a movie. You know what I mean? Or listening to the movie. Like, yo, there's like
100%.
a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm looking for in these fucking albums. Because, like, I think to when we had West on, it's like, if you're not gonna give me a cohesive project, then don't give me an album, bro. Just give me a bunch of singles all year long. Because if I get it in one body of work, I'm gonna think it's one body of work. Whereas, like, I feel like, dude, I would honestly think most artists don't. It's like, yo, let me get my best 13 songs that are close to an hour, and then let me just put it out. It's like, bro, like, give me the story behind this shit, you know?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that as well. And part of the reason why that's never really crossed my mind is something I wanted to do anytime soon, just because I don't feel like I could execute it the way I wanted or anyone else would want. Plus, I don't even have a fan base who is going to warrant me like investing hundreds of hours in like $15,000 or whatever it might cost to build some album, promote it, and then have like 30 of my friends and family listen to it and some like dudes on the internet. So I think
I feel that.
Good job with that.
Yeah. That's the thing, to back to our point last year as well, with like why we fuck with IDK so hard. Like, for your first album to feel like it's a cohesive unit that like every song kind of goes with the previous and the song after, like that takes fucking work, clearly. So yeah. But yeah, again, shout out to The Weeknd. I thought it was a great project, and I'm excited to see what Cordae does this weekend, and because I feel like that's gonna be, dude. I'm not saying bangers, because again, I know people. He's very well respected, very well liked, very popular to a certain extent. But I just know it's gonna be good music. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's just gonna be on the radio or like a TikTok sensation, but I know I'm gonna get at least 10 or 12 like really well done, crafted songs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And I'll be honest, I wasn't really checking for his music prior to this until like he received the accolades for his other album and all that stuff, and obviously did the little freestyle thing over Sinister, which was a song that I really loved. And I think that was when I really started to pay attention and realizing how skilled he is. And obviously he's aligning himself with people like Lil Wayne and Nas and stuff. So clearly,
dude, and even on the
right.
EP he dropped like 4 months ago, dude, he had Q-Tip on that bitch, Young Thug. Like, he's just like, even on the like the LeBron James show, The Shop, like, even Jadakiss, when again, Jadakiss had the biggest year of his career last year. Like, even he took a moment to like talk to Cordae's girlfriend, Naomi, and be like, yo, your boy is it. You know what I mean? Like, so like, he's getting accolades from everybody like that we respect. So you'd only think like this is going to be a very good project.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. So that was music that we've been catching up on. So before we get into like the interviews we did before we dipped last year, as well as the goals that we definitely want to put out into the universe and to our listeners, I guess like the biggest thing like in news would be one, Kanye getting Julia Fox, right? Because that shit's been like headlining. I know you've been offline, but bro, this has been like,
no, I heard about it, like, even if I didn't want to.
Yeah, dude, this shit's like all the internet's talking about, bro. Which is funny, dude, because we were watching a movie like, I want to say like a month and a half ago, and Julia Fox was in it. And like, my girl didn't know who she was. And I know Julia Fox since 2020 when she was in and I was like, bro, what is this? Like, yo, this girl is fine as fuck. And I was like, I IMDb that shit quick. I'm like, yo, who is this? Like, yo, who's the girl who cheats on Adam Sandler with The Weeknd? Like, I was like, yo, from that moment on, like, I was all in. So that's what, 2 years ago? We were watching the movie like a month ago, 2 months ago. And I was like, damn, babe, she's like, yo, she's it. And she's like, really? I was like, what do you mean, yo, fam? That's
just
it.
Watch the scene.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, good. Like, shout out to Kanye. Like, it's just weird though, because like literally you were at a concert less than a month ago where he's still like confessing his love and hope to get Kim back, and then within literally a month, like you felt like that just seems odd to me, dude.
Right, and that's why I'm like this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if there is a publicity stunt of some sort. I'm like, it's all just too weird to me. Or Kanye could just be that like bipolar and sporadic of an individual where like he's literally changing his mind every fucking 20 minutes. And this just he fucking was watching Uncut Gems in Calabasas and was like, I'm horny as fuck.
Let me hit her
Give
up.
me her number.
Come to Miami, bitch. Like, that's like
Wow.
Yeah. I can believe that too. Yeah, I mean, but it also like, I feel like it's also possible that he like what was genuine at that concert that you were at, and then followed it up with like, all right, dude, this girl's really moved on, and then he bumps into Julia Fox and is like, yep, let me try. So I mean, it's possible. It just seems odd though, like, dude, that concert wasn't even a month ago. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you ready? Like, God, like I mean, I don't think she's the baddest. I don't know like what that even means, but she's bad, bro. Like, yeah, she is top 5, bro. Top 5. So that was a good look for both of them. But I guess like the biggest thing in like, again, just me being on social media on academics, like again, like the Young Dolph thing, like that's sad. It's I guess I don't know if you saw like they're saying that one of the suspects was like actually somebody close to him at some point. Like they have pictures of them side by side with the guy like wearing like the Empire chain and shit. You're like, damn, bro, like it really had to be someone close to you. But that's
I heard he I mean, I could be wrong, but I heard that the chain that the pendant thing he had on his jeans was actually something he robbed or stole from an associate of Dolph's, and he wasn't like actually part of the team. But then again, it's like all Memphis, they're all like in the same place. So clearly, I mean, at one point it seems like maybe they could have been cordial, or at least he didn't really have that level of animosity towards him.
Right.
But it's still sad that these dudes just like harbor all this jealousy and anger and then throw away, you know, the possibility of having a career, because one of the dudes was the rapper.
Yep.
Could have easily taken off if he just did his thing. But clearly to some of these guys, they just want to prove a point and would rather fucking be in jail all day than, you know, being soft or, you know.
And then, dude, I don't know the age, but they look both like early 20s. They're like literally throwing your entire life away. You know what I mean? Like you had so many years, God willing, ahead of you of whatever you wanted to do, and then man. So that's tragic. But dude, honestly, I think like the biggest news, I'm glad you put this as a topic, was like the fit podcasters. Are their name Fresh and Fit? Like, is that their name?
No, I mean the Fresh and Fit podcast. So the main dude, well, I don't know if he necessarily considers himself the main, but Fit is Myron. He's the lankier guy. And then the dude from Barbados who has a darker complexion, he goes by Fresh. I don't know what his real name is. Pretty sure it's not Fresh, but
yeah.
I digress.
Yeah, for sure. We've spoken about them in the past with the Kevin Samuels things and the OnlyFans girls. We weren't really a fan, no pun intended, of how they approached those females and talked about like alpha males and all that shit. So do you want to catch listeners up on what actually happened on their podcast a week ago that's going pretty viral?
For sure. So essentially Asian Doll, who I believe is a rapper, was King Von's girl for a minute. She came on the podcast. I think she came along with another girl, and they were kind of having side conversations, or at least the other girl was. And Asian Doll basically said Myron was mean for suggesting that this girl stop having these side conversations. She didn't like the way that he was verbally attacking her. So she said, you're being mean. He's like, basically get off the show if you don't want to be here. Like, this is our podcast, follow the rules, yada, yada, yada. So that situation got blown out of proportion. But of course, the Twitter investigators found a clip of them, an older clip, basically saying they don't date black women. But not only that, they use insults like, we're not night riders, we don't dabble in the dark, we don't want Shaniquas, yada yada yada. So
they like that, even like double down, like quadruple down on that like statement. Yeah.
And they basically are defending themselves by saying that it's merely a preference, just like how girls may prefer taller men or, you know, men with a lot of money, etc. But obviously it goes a lot deeper than that. It's not simply just, hey, we have a preference, because there's a lot of animosity.
Yeah, dude. And I think there was also a clip I saw, I don't know if you saw it, like I don't think it was the Asian Doll one, but another episode where there was a black female on it, and they were telling her like, we don't date like black girls. Maybe it was the same episode you're talking about right now, but she was talking about how like she's a certain way, And they were like, oh, but you're different. Like, you're okay. Like, you're not like a ratchet one like them. And I was like, eesh.
That rubbed me a really wrong way, because I felt like myself in that moment, like how a white person might say, oh, hey, Blair, like, you're educated. You're not like the other Negroes who are like violent.
But we've spoken about before. Yeah.
And I've had people in my life tell me I'm whitewashed, and I ask why, and they're like, oh, like, you're not loud and you're educated, like basically positive qualities. So they think it's a compliment. But really what you're saying is I can't identify with my race because I do good. Like, black people are all scum of the earth, but you're one of the exceptions. So feel happy that I'm
right. It's not like you came from a very well-educated black family, so like you're more than one. It's not like I was the only one. Like
right. And it's very conflicting, because you're like, on one hand, you're like, okay, yeah, this person's telling me I'm this and that, but you feel like you can't identify with your own race or culture, because you're constantly having people tell you that using a broad stroke with a brush that your people are just at the bottom of the totem pole, but you're one of the ones who made it out, so to speak.
Totally. So does it also rub you the wrong way? I'll give my opinion in a second. When it's coming from two black males?
100%. I think as black males, we have much more authority to speak on like issues and things within the black community that we may not necessarily like. But why I don't like it is because it gives more ammo to people of other races who may be less forgiving. And they'll say, look, like, these black individuals don't even like their own people, so why the fuck should I care, so to speak? And I think that's just a very dangerous path to go down. And the problem too is they're trying to also defend it by saying, look, we have black women on the show and stuff, but they don't understand that the context is the show is business at the end of the day. You're not dating these women. You're not even necessarily having to associate with them outside of the show. Like, I'm sure there's a ton of fucking racist. I mean, look at the fucking NBA and like whatever else. Like, yeah, you're employing black players, but behind the scenes, you're like, this nigga, that, and fuck this dude. So I think it's stupid. I've heard a couple people say, look, they have diversity on the show. That doesn't mean shit. It's business at the end of the day. At the end of the day, money is gonna speak far louder than what internal hate you have for a person.
Yeah, dude, I agree with that. And also, my thing, the reason why I didn't like care for it, just coming from two black men, is just like, as a black female, that has to be the most like gut to the punch to the gut. Yeah. It's like, dude, if the men we're giving birth to don't even fucking respect us, like, what the fuck are we even on this planet for? You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, we have no chance for fuck white guys, like any race to respect us. If literally the men we're giving birth to have zero respect for us and consider us the most obvious and degrading stereotypes there are of the black female, right? Like, or the black American female, which is just like, come on, bro. It's an easy. And again, I agree with their first thing. Well, when they finally said like everyone's allowed their preference, dude, 100%, dude. But you could just say, yo, I currently like Asian girls, or I love me a Latina, like that's my thing. And then end of conversation, dog. Right. Yeah. Like, for you to double down, just say like the worst shit. It's like, dog, like, man, like, again, with other shit they've done, right? Like with the Kevin Samuels and the OnlyFans girl, it wasn't like they were like, yo, you should guys try this because it's been successful. It's like, what you're doing is disgusting. And it's just like, fuck, dude, like, there has to be a better way to go about this. So again, after they're doing it for the buzz, shit went viral. Everyone's been talking about it, so I'm sure it's only helping their cause. But it would just hate to, like, again, at the end of the day, like, a black woman hearing that isn't concerned about their views, right? Like, they may take that shit to heart and like really think like, dog, like, fuck, man, like, that could be my brother, and like, dude, my own brother doesn't fuck with me, like, the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, that sucks.
Exactly. And it's also sad that these men who fall into this little alpha male cult feel like what comes with that is you always, like, your opinion is the truth and fuck what a bitch thinks, so to speak. Like, we don't care what women think. We don't care if we hurt their feelings. We can say irrational things because an alpha male doesn't care what other people think, but they have it misconstrued clearly and don't understand that certain rhetoric and behavior is problematic. And
that's
they have
word.
a business
super
to run.
Problematic,
yeah, super
bro.
problematic. I understand they have a business to run and they can't, defend every little fucking thing they say, but they should have just owned up to it and said, you know what, it was irresponsible for us to, spew these negative stereotypes. But again, everyone's entitled to their preference and just leave it at that. But I see them trying to, every quote unquote L that they've been taking, trying to defend it.
Yeah,
they're hurting their brand.
Yeah, they're not trying to take they're not taking that L like, you're right. But just on YouTube, has the majority of the pushback for these guys been negative after that, or have like a lot of people also been siding with them?
I think honestly, the only people that have been siding with them from what I've seen are like the day one. Fuck, I don't know what's happening to my voice.
You're good.
The day one fans.
The Kevin Samuels of the world, like that, those groups of like commenters. I got you.
Yeah, but the majority of people are like, yo, that's foul. Like, once you cross the line of the preference, like, I don't like this shit because, and then also it's not even like, oh, our culture doesn't align or whatever. It's they are horrible people, but there's probably one or two good ones in the group, but the rest of them are all fucking this. That's when you just fucking stepped on eggshells and lit yourself on fire.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, that should just, again, I'm curious to see what the, like, over the coming weeks, because fam, I think it's because, but those comments actually came out like months ago, right?
I think so. Right? I mean, it definitely wasn't
like, it wasn't a recent episode. Like, it was the Asian doll thing made people want to really dig into like what their content is, right? Yeah,
I think so. And I don't know, as someone who I've seen a lot of people from the Black community speak on it, and a lot of the theories that I've seen come up is that they're individuals who probably didn't have much success with Black women in their past. I know a lot of, especially non-American Blacks and Black Americans have this weird tension a lot of times where they may just see I don't know, individuals from Jamaica or Africa or whatever as other, so they may get made fun of or whatever the case is. So you build this animosity over time, and the narrative changes from I can't get this kind of girl to I don't date them because they're pieces of shit for 10 reasons. So
because they're both guys on Fresh and Fit are like American, right? They're not African American. They're like
one of them's definitely from Barbados, which is Fresh, and then Myron, I believe, has some sort of Arab background.
Okay,
but I don't know. I'm sure they would refer to themselves as Black, but then again, you know how people kind of flip flop here and there when it's convenient. So who knows? But they strike me as the kind of people that just don't, I don't know, have chemistry with Black women for whatever reason.
Yeah. Either they've been shut down, or you're right, like, I can feel that, bro. Because I remember having Black female friends in like middle school, and like they would be mean to like the girls who like also Black but like were Jamaican, and it's just like, I'm like, fam, like the reason you're getting mad at them for it doesn't make any fucking sense. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm a child, I'm like, man, this doesn't make any sense. Like, they're different. I'm like, no. Like, I don't think they're the same. So like, so I feel that.
Yeah. And I'm curious about your personal experience, because at least for me, like growing up, I was, for the majority of my younger life, primarily around white girls. So naturally, that's who I was attracted to and felt comfortable around and stuff. And then when I went to high school, I went to a different high school actually, and that was primarily Hispanic, some Black girls, but pretty much no white or Asian girls. And then I started developing an attraction primarily to Latina girls, because that was like what my classes were filled with. And when you're dozing off, just fucking staring at girls, you're looking around.
You're a product of your environment, 100%.
Yeah. Changed in college, I was primarily around Asian girls, and I'm like, all right, like what's within hand's reach? Like, it's not some fetish shit, it's just what's in my immediate surrounding. So my preference, fluctuated over time, but at the end of the day, I'm personally attracted to all shades of women. It's more so like the physical that I have like, you know, more of a criteria for. But I do think that plays into a lot of people's preferences is what you grew up around.
Yeah, dude. And like, I guess like I'm like not an anomaly, but dude, me bouncing around just meant that I really ended up liking like everyone. You know what I mean? Like growing up in the Bronx early on, surrounded by Hispanics. As we went into a more prosperous time in my middle school years, we moved into a better neighborhood, went to better school. So now I'm seeing more white girls, black girls, Spanish girls, Asian. Like I'm seeing like more in my day to day, right? So I'm like, oh, dude, like she's attractive. Maybe I'm not attracted to her that much, but it wasn't about race. It was always about like, I just have so many options here, more than I had before. Let me just see which ones are like, as people are attractive. Yeah. And then, dude, same thing. I went into India, bro. I went to a fucking international school with everyone's daughter for the or half, the 50% of the percentage of the kids there were Indian. The other half were diplomats' kids from Poland, Korea, Arabia, like everywhere, bro. So it's just like at that point, dude, you're like hitting puberty. You're just trying to be like, yo, who am I fucking? You know what I mean? Like I'm not worried about like anything. Like I don't care where you're from. I'm like, yo, we attractive enough that there's a chance to us to fuck. So, and then in college, it kind of went to, like, I went to University of Miami, bro. Miami's a fucking melting pot. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I would say like, I personally wasn't attracted to the Hispanic kids when I came to UM, only because like they looked down on me because sometimes there's like in Hispanic culture, there's like criterias to like how well like you spoke Spanish or like just like the history behind it. Like Dominican Republic was ruled by everyone, bro. So like, and then like the Argentinian kids and Venezuelan kids were like, you know, there's more close alliance to Spain. So it just felt like they like gave me, like they shunned me. So it wasn't that I thought those girls weren't attractive. I find them very attractive. I just didn't care to like engage with them because I knew they didn't fuck with me. But like, I would never be like, nah, you're trash. And you're like, I was just like, bro, right. I'm not even going to try. Like, it's fine, dude. So yeah, bro, like, again, like I've currently dated a white girl. My last 2 girlfriends have been white, but the girls in between have been black. Like, so it doesn't fucking, like, I'm going to tell you, like, my current girlfriend is white and I hope she ends up being my wife one day. But for the most part, it's almost just like, yeah, like what's around you. And then it's also the benefit of like, bro, having a social circle. I mean, again, we have the benefit, bro, living like in major fucking cities, that your circle of friends, like kind of like what you experience in London, like you need to have a circle of friends that isn't the same. You know what I mean? Like, I'm grateful that, dude, I have Haitian friends. Like in my immediate circle, I have a Haitian friend who has married to a black wife. I have an Argentinian friend who's married to a Cuban wife who was raised in America. I have a Cuban friend, and then I have like Indian friends who's married to a white girl, white guy married. You know what I mean? Like I'm lucky to see everything, right? So I don't know. Like it just never made me feel like, oh no, like my next girl has to be white, or she has to be Dominican, or she had like, it's just like, bro, like I see that all these females are making my boys happy. So I'm just trying to find a female that can bring me peace in my life. She better be attractive, but her being attractive doesn't mean that it also has to be a certain kind of race. Like if that makes sense.
100%. Yeah, for me, being attractive was never tied to your race. It was just, are you attractive or not to me, like physically. Skin color, not even part of the criteria. And similar to you with the Hispanic thing in college, I'd say in reverse for me, actually. Like in college, speaking to black women was a completely different experience than like in high school. I think in high school, also because like in that era, like everyone's concerned with like who's cool and shit. And I actually had a lot of black girls in high school say like, oh, I don't look black or sound black or whatever.
They say you don't look black?
Yeah, they thought, or not I don't look black, but they didn't think I was completely black. They thought I was like Dominican, got it. Or like something else. But I always got the sense that like I was quote unquote too white for a lot of them. Or not like thug enough for some shit.
Yeah, so in college for me, like, in college, I got the vibe from the Spanish girls that I wasn't Hispanic enough.
Yeah. So that will kind of push you in one direction. But that, for me, at least, that never built this like animosity towards black women or whatever. It's like, it is what it is. I'm just trying to, like you said, to quote you, fuck something.
Yo,
and,
facts.
And any woman who's beautiful, I'm willing to have a conversation with you. Like that is what it is. And I know a lot of people who like were the whitewashed of their minority. You're not whitewashed, but like not X enough.
Right.
And they just naturally were like, all right, I guess this group wants to date me, so I'm gonna go to them. And it wasn't necessarily a hateful thing. And I wonder if that's what's happening here. And they're like, we're not good enough for our own or whatever. But instead of just quietly having your preference, we're gonna say fuck all of
we're gonna and we know that we have a large enough support system that enough people will kind of support us, or at least gain you're right. But what's funny enough, like it really is what your surrounding is, bro, because in college I had so many other options that I didn't want to deal with that, not hate, but just the awkwardness of like not being accepted, quote unquote. But then as I got older, dude, I remember like my first girlfriend out of college was a Venezuelan girl, because she was just in my surrounding now. And like you're older, you're like, bro, like I'm not like on a campus of 14,000 females. Like,
yeah, I'm
gonna bump into this girl a lot. She's fucking fine as hell. Let me, you know, and we dated for like 3 years, bro. So again, it really is what your surrounding is, but it's just like, you can't, it just seems so fucked up to like, again, say you don't like someone or say you're not attracted to someone and then have all these reasons to justify that have nothing to do with that specific person. It's just based off, oh, you're this thing, you're this culture. Oh, I can't like you because you will have these flaws. You're like, fam, you don't know what the fuck you're talking, because you don't know this person. You know what I mean? Like you're just going off the most, I don't want to say obvious, that's like offensive too, but the most like easy fucking thing to say because you've heard that same stereotype being said for years and years. You know what I mean? Right. So, and again, it coming from someone of that race is like shitty, bro. Like that's like me like saying I'll never date a Dominican chick because like them girls are fucking loud, they're rude. It's like, dog, like that's like the most disrespectful shit to my mom or like aunt, like a grandma. It's like that's a little, that's again, and maybe that's some shit I say to you on the side, fam. But I'm not going on a platform if I really feel that way. Because again, there might be a Dominican girl listen to that shit that is like, damn, bro, like what the fuck? Like, is that me? Like, should I identify like this? So, like, I don't know, but that shit just makes me, I feel bad for the females that had to hear that shit, to be honest.
For sure. And another thing that they mentioned that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, or anyone really, is, I don't know if you heard it, but there's a little portion of that rant where he says maybe a red bone or something.
Yeah.
But then he continues. And I'm like, if anything, that's like that clearly indicates how deep rooted this like internal hate, I guess you could call it, is, because he's basically saying if it's a light skinned black chick, she could get a pass. So it's clearly like, yo, like if she looks white, then maybe she'll get a pass but for whatever reason. But if you're like black, then fuck you completely because you're ugly and dark and we don't even want to deal with that. So it's all kinds of levels of fucked up and just, I don't know, lame.
Yeah. So again, there's no need to talk about it anymore, but yeah, it definitely was the biggest topic for the last week. I think rightly so, just because, again, slow news week, new year, I get that. But yeah, bro, that just seemed fucked up. So again, we'll see if the simp army comes for us again. But I think we have enough people on our side that we won't be bombarded with fucking comments that fuck us up. All right, bro. So for us, before we get into the heat of week and all, I wanted to put our 2022 goals out there. So what are a couple goals for yourself? We'll do that. So I say like 1 or 2 goals for yourself, and then 1 or 2 goals for the pod that we're going to try to achieve this year.
For myself, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I'm doing the abstaining from alcohol, caffeine, and hookah for the rest of the month, maybe to the wedding, as well as Instagram. Just want to stay focused. I always like to start off the year on a good foot. And then another personal goal is obviously continuing the music, doing as many releases as possible. I know last year my goal was 10 songs, didn't quite hit it, but I'm going to still stick with that. And I think this year I'm really going to try to focus on the TikTok thing, because I feel like that's like the biggest way for,
dude, they're saying a lot of like really smart people are saying TikTok's going to be like bigger than Instagram like in 4 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I use it pretty frequently, not even just for music stuff, but like My girl sends me stuff all the time. It is a really, once you use it and like get past the bias of like it being this corny platform where like 12-year-olds twerk and do dumb shit, then you realize the algorithm is disturbingly good at sending you shit that you want to see. Like, it's ridiculous how well the algorithm works. But
all right.
Anyways, those are my personal goals for the pod itself. Similar to you, I think I'd love to see us get to 5K, kind of double our user base. Obviously, it won't happen overnight, but I think we could definitely work on a combination of things.
Man, that shit could happen overnight. That'd be funny.
It could happen. Actually, it kind of did. With the,
I guess it could legit happen overnight, and then we're like, yo, we got 8 months left. You know what I mean?
For real. Release some more merch, maybe like a new logo idea or phrase or something that we could rock. Then I think really continuing to expand like the content, so not just like these episodes and interviews, but maybe there's some other formula we could add to the mix to help grow the user base. Obviously something that's a fit, but of course want to brainstorm and figure out ways we can tap into something that we already know we do well, but maybe have it like packaged in a way to where it's like this recurring thing that we can.
Yeah. We tried it with Clubhouse a little bit, but it was like, no. And then you have fucking Jay-Z on Clubhouse like a year later. You're like, fuck. But no, those are good, bro. Those are good. For me, personal ones are I joined a book club. So I'm gonna read 2 books a month. So that's 24 books in a year. So I'm excited about that one, bro. 'Cause I just feel like we get in these positions of like contentment and happiness, and we just stop like reading. At least me, dude. Like dude, for me, like I speak to some, you know, I don't know how like your consumption is of books are, but like I speak to friends, buddies who I know are very successful, but I also know like they're into sports, they're drinking. So in my mind, they're like, oh, they're like me. Like, there's no way this guy's reading, you know, all these. And he's like, oh, dude, I read 38 books last year. I'm like, bro, when, fam? Like, you know, when did you have fucking time for that? So it's really prioritizing. I just had therapy today. It's like prioritizing my shit. It's like, you know, if we wanted to make it 5K happen, bro, we could definitely do that. We have to prioritize that. Like, what are we going to do to ensure that number grows, right? So definitely prioritizing book reading is, for me, is a big one. So 2 books per month. I'm already like 40% done with a book right now. And then the other personal one is I want to get some properties under my name. So I got 2. So I want to get, I currently have my own, but I want to purchase 2 properties this year. I kind of thought last year was just going to happen by just because I spoke to a couple people. I'm like, oh, it's going to happen. And again, I didn't prioritize that. I kind of like wanted someone else to help me with my dream. So that's not going to work. So those are personal ones. And then, yeah, for the pod, dude, like I really want to hit 5K. I think that's a fucking good number, a good base number, attractive number for potential interviews. And then for the interviews, bro, I really want to I thought Johan was a phenomenal fucking way to end the year. We'll start the year with people saw it, but like for us to end the year, you know, someone that's fucking done shit for it, you know, everyone we look up to. So I just want to land like, I want to say like 2 big fish that like when we tell people like you had him or her on your pod, they're like, yo, I gotta check that shit out. As opposed to like, again, we were fucking fanboys for Johan when he was on this, but we had to explain to people, yo, this guy does this, and this, you know, which is, again, I will explain it because we loved his story. That was probably our best conversation. But I use just the ego in me, and for the sake of the pod, I want to have a couple names that it's like, you're not going to just scroll past this shit on YouTube. It's like, yo, I got to stop and be like, what the fuck did Big Sean have to say talking to Danny and Blair? You know what I mean? Like, that's the shit that I want. So I want like 2 big ass interviews like that for this year. Yeah,
I love that one. And same, I was thinking for the interviews, obviously we'll continue to have interviews with people who don't necessarily have a blue check or whatever, but I think that's a goal that we really need to work towards, is have that one repost where we're just like, this shit speaks for itself. And
kind of like what Johan was saying about like the Beethoven and the Yeezy and Yates, like the Beethoven thing. He's like, bro, like there's no way this is not going viral. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's just no fucking way. Right? So like that, like I want to have a couple interviews that's like, bro, there's no way this shit's not getting 10,000 views on its own. us like just sitting back and just seeing the numbers go crazy. So yeah, so again, that's on us. Again, we got to prioritize that, which I know we will. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a big year for the pod, bro. But like you said, more merch for sure. We added crew necks. It's still winter weather. Most places listening to this, so you guys want a fire crew neck, all the colors, right? Pretty much for the crew neck.
Yeah, for the most part. I don't think it's every color that like the hoodies are in, but they do have some fire ones in there. So definitely check that out. I mean,
the black one is the cleanest, bro. So like, unless you have cats like me, like Blair and I, like cop the stuff, the black hoodie. That shit is fire.
We'll live vicariously through you, whoever you are, who buys one.
Yeah. All right, fam. Let's get out of here. But before that, Heat of the Week, episode 95. What's one banger that you've been repeating nonstop besides You Up? Because we already have that shit on the playlist.
Banger I've been repeating. We already talked about The Weeknd. I'm just gonna briefly gloss over a couple songs that I liked from it a lot. I think Sacrifice, and I'm gonna play a lot of this at the wedding, but Sacrifice was probably the one song that made me feel like I was in the metaverse without being in the metaverse. I know I bought the Oculus and everything, but like there's something about that song that just makes me feel like I'm in the future or something and everything is going to be okay. But outside of that, one banger that people may be unfamiliar with. Oh, so there's this group I heard out of the UK called Western. They spell their name WSTRN.
Okay.
And as I was going through like wedding playlist stuff, I heard this song called Be My Guest. And it's more of like a mellow, kind of Caribbean fun, dance hall-y type song.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy, but the melody and everything is super dope.
Western and Fireboy something?
Yeah. Okay. Be My Guest.
Okay.
It's a feel-good track, something you would listen to if you're chilling at home, lighting one up, sipping some wine or whatever. Super amazing song. Several people on it, so you get a taste of different flows and everything. But I really appreciated that group's song, and I like Beam. I looked up their catalog, and now they're one of those artists that I'm like, oh, let me follow what you're doing. So
nice,
I'll definitely listen to them if you're in a mood for some good feel-good music.
Feel-good music. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely pick that up. I'll add it to the Apple playlist right now so I don't forget. Dude, for me, it's gonna have to be a song that I kept repeating when it dropped was, off the Roddy Ricch project, Roller Coastin'. Like that song hit hard for me, dude. Like, I don't know, because it's like the end of the year, you start planning ahead, the ups and downs of just life. So Roller Coastin' for me was, dude, that one. I know there's other bangers on that album that we've spoken about, like that reminded us like a Medellin and all the shit like that were fire. But like that one, at least for me, is the one I can play in front of anyone. And I'm like, I feel like I like to share that one. And dude, what's wild, and just like, again, aside therapy talk conversation, I don't know about you, but like, again, every time, like at least the last 2.5 years, when the new year comes, it's just like, we kind of expect this change to happen, right? And like sometimes you forget like it's just another day. Like obviously we're like, it's a new year, and like a new year is gonna have its own challenges and highs and lows. But like for some reason, more than ever this year, bro, I was just like, when it was a new year, I'm like, all right, like I was just like what's gonna go wrong? It's like when is that bad moment gonna happen that's gonna fucking rock my core? Like I was kind of like in a negative, like very not negative, like a very anxious state. And dude, like I was in talking it out with my therapist, like, I don't know if you feel this way ever, but for me personally, I kind of think it's like me looking for like the next thing I can conquer. Cause like in 2020, it was my mom, right? It's like, all right, that's the thing. Like, how am I gonna get through this to like move on with my life? Like not move on, but you know what I mean? Like get through this. And then last year it was like, all right, I got through that. Now, how am I gonna get past a relationship that almost like derailed my life, buying a house? Like I had things to conquer. So it's just like, I don't know, it was just like anxiety in my head, like going into the new year, like, fuck, dude, what's gonna go wrong? How am I gonna fix it? Can I fix it? So, so I feel like that song Roller Coastin' kind of really hit me hard because it kind of like encompassed all of that. Like you can't really ever get too high because like you're just waiting for the drop. So, but then I realized that this shit's all like self-manifested. It's like, you can also just enjoy life, bro. And like, show that in the history of your life that you pretty much come through every challenge regardless. So just enjoy the ride. But yeah, that's where I was like mentally the last like couple weeks.
Got you. And thanks for sharing that. I think for me, last year was like a whirlwind of a year. So much so that in a way I felt similar, but also not quite as anxious. Cause like, at the tail end of 2020, my brother just passed, and then I restarted doing music. Then I was unemployed. Then I proposed. So I felt like a whirlwind of emotions all within like 3 months.
Yeah, literally.
Within 3 months that like by the end of 2021, I was like, can I even like possibly feel anything else anymore at this point? And now when looking at 2022, I almost feel like it's not done, but I'm like, okay, I'm getting married. Then I have like a bunch of weddings, but I already have like the same job,
right?
The same girl, the same apartment. So for me, unfortunately, I feel like I've been able to kind of decrease my goals and just literally have it just like be music and the podcast.
Yeah.
And like maybe a handful of super small things that no one's gonna give a fuck about, like doing the dishes more often or something.
Sure.
But I think fortunately, I feel like things have kind of calmed down. We already know that like COVID's gonna stay and stuff. I do though have like a consistent anxiety of some bad shit happening. Like even now when my brother Corey texts me or calls me out of the blue, like I literally get paranoid that he's gonna tell me someone passed or shit like that.
So that's the thing, and it's not even like so same thing. My uncle called me, like he's like my dad, like Lewis, like he's like a father figure to me, like was there for me, my only person in my family at my graduation in India. So he, like when we talk, it's like we text often, but when we talk, it's like, you know, a scheduled call on the weekend, like a Saturday afternoon. We both know we're home. Dude, he called me yesterday at like 12 in the afternoon. And I was like, oh, this is bad. Like literally before I picked up, I'm like, is it even going to be Lewis on the other end of this call or someone telling me, God forbid, the worst? You know what I mean? Like I had that anxiety. And then, but I'm also like in my head, like, oh, this was the thing that was going to happen. They do that. Like all those thoughts went through my head within like 5 seconds. And then thankfully I picked up the phone. It was just Lewis, like, checking in on me after COVID, seeing how I was doing. But yo, like my chest got tight. I'm like, oh fuck, bro, not Lewis. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yo, I feel you with that one, bro. But I think that's just like, I feel like, bro, we're gonna definitely, I mean, for a fact, we'll be on the better end of this soon. I just think like for us, like we had two people pass away that were just too close to us. So like, that I feel like that is like the anxiety of it, bro. It's like, fuck, bro. Like I can't afford, I don't want to insert anyone's name. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like I can't, like we're both like probably meant to, like, bro, I can't afford to lose this person right now. You know what I mean? But it's just like, we just got to enjoy life and just make the most of these fucking moments, bro. That's really what it is.
For sure. And I guess the blessing in disguise is we're like trained to cope with it at this point. So obviously, I mean, I don't know if it would ever get easier, but at least that like shock of like, what the fuck, won't necessarily be as detrimental, hopefully. But yeah, I think towards the end of December, I was in a somewhat dark place just because I was like, man, I don't know like what direction I want to go in. I didn't even know my goals at that point. And I, like everyone else, like you're on Instagram, you're like, all these motherfuckers have it figured out. Like, I know I'm not broke. I know I'm not jobless, but I also feel like I'm missing something. And I don't want to necessarily be in the same place forever, even if it's by some people's standards a good place. So it was like that dilemma and just like mind fuck. And that's why a big reason why I got off Instagram, because
dude, it's not real, bro. It's not real. And like literally for some of the shit that we look at, like it's not real at all. Not real. Like literally not real. But yeah, dude, I wrote down a thing that my therapist told me to ask myself. It was like, when we're in those anxious thoughts, it's like, what's the truth of what you're thinking? Like, is the truth that things are that bad, or is the truth are like you're in your head, but life is great? You know what I mean? Like, cause yeah, no one wants to be the same place they are a year from now. Like, but for certain things, we're like, yeah, like I don't want to have not read more than a book in 2 years, right? Because I want to, but if a year from now I'm still earning a great income in my job, still have a loving girlfriend, healthy family, and a roof over my head, fuck, dude, that's still a great place to be in a year. So I feel like we also got to be, that's the thing, like, that's like the dilemma in life, bro. It's just like, and especially at our age, it's just like, we feel like if we're not growing in some capacity, we're a fuck up. And it's just like, bro, like, we also need to respect about all the hard work we've done to even get to where we're at right now.
100%. And it's tough because we're so hard on ourselves, and we see these fucking 25-year-olds on Instagram who like got lucky and have this thriving business, and then meanwhile your boss is slacking you or texting you to fucking get off your lunch break, even if you're making good money or whatever, and you're just like, fuck this nigga, I hate it. Like, I want to quit and do this all day. And then you just get in your head like, damn, this is never gonna happen, and then it just spirals into this bad situation.
Yeah, I think I ended on this. I think Just Adam posted a thing today that it was like, I think he's on album mode. So shout out to Just Adam. And I gotta send you a video that Wes just dropped, like an animated video for one of his songs.
Yeah, I watched it. It was dope.
You watched it? Yeah, that was fire. Just shout out to him. But Just Adam had a post that was like, as long as you don't give up, this shit will eventually click for you, right? So I know that's gonna be what it is for the music and for the pod. Like, I have no doubts. But I mean, I really just that should be like the motto for life, bro. Like, at least if you, like, again, everyone's entitled to a day that they can like sulk and be like, yo, fuck, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like as long as you don't like make a permanent decision off of a temporary feeling, everyone inevitably just ends up being okay. You know what I mean? So I think you got to remember that. Because like, I remember like vividly, bro, when I went to like grief therapy, and like I was like obviously devastated by my mom passing away, but then, not to mention any names, but there was another girl in the thing. Her mom was brutally murdered while she was 2 years old. So she only had her mom in her life for 2 years, fam. So she remembers nothing. Barely remembers, You don't remember anything. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. There's no way. Like, there's no way. So like, it's like, damn, like I feel like shit, but at least I'm grateful I had my mom in my life for 31 years, you know? So
yeah, you just really got to count the blessings and think of all the positives of it, as hard as it is and corny as it might sound, because a lot of people like don't want to hear that, especially if they're in the midst of like,
especially if you're in the bottom of it. But I feel like that's when you need a reminder, like, fam, like, and that's a tough part too, at least for me. Again, I know we're going off a thing, but it's nice to do shit like to like where our thoughts are at to start off a year and like kind of look back. But it's also like you don't want to give advice, but then you also, because you don't want to make it about you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to be like, oh, dude, trust me, I was here. It's like, bro, I don't care about you, like where you were. You know what I mean? So that's like the conundrum I find myself in too. Like when I'm giving advice, it's like, bro, like I just want to give it, like, do you want to hear it? And I feel like I ask people that more often than like just like jumping in saying, well, this is what I would do. Is like, okay, bro, I don't give a fuck what you would do.
I also have to do a better job of taking my own advice, because a lot of times I'll give people advice who ask just about whatever, and then I'll sit there and I'm like in a similar situation and I'm not even listening to the shit I told this person to do or say. And I'm like, why the fuck are you, knowing that my advice is like what everyone else would say.
Solid.
Solid advice. But then when it comes to me, I'm like, oh, that doesn't apply, or, you know, I don't feel like taking that advice right now. So I'm trying to do a better job of listening to the good voices in my head.
Awesome, bro. Well, great way to end the pod. Great way to start the year. Glad you're feeling better. Definitely drink some more tea because your throat is a little fucked up right now.
I was waiting, this shit came right back.
Yo, that shit, we ain't leaving just yet, motherfucker. Like, but awesome, bro. Let the people know where they can catch us, and let's get out of here.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week. The Spotify and Apple Music playlist is on the site as well as the merch. Please check that out. We'll, of course, continue to add to that list of dope merch, which is super comfortable, especially during these cold times. And if you are an artist and you'd like to be interviewed on the podcast, please reach out to us so we can review your material and see if it's a fit.
100%. All right, my dude. Love you, bro. Take care. We'll catch up soon. Be safe. Peace.